Do you think that a woman's level of physical attractiveness affects her behavior and potential for status?
Damn right. Especially living in Vegas. You see that shit all the fucking time.
Okay. Beautiful women typically get whatever they want, right?
Vegas law? Yep.
I feel like that's true for anybody, yeah.
But yeah, especially females though.
Men or women? Okay. Yeah. How does it affect their behavior and potential for status?
Appearance specifically?
Physical attractiveness,
appearance?
Yes.
Well, I feel like, unfortunately, like if you're beautiful, you just have a better shot at like anything in life. Like we just live in a culture that like really rewards beauty. And
Social media.
Yeah, yeah. Just,
Social, Instagram, Twitter, all that. The like system, the heart, is that what it is? A heart on Instagram and all that?
Yeah.
Everybody strives for a like or a notification.
Why is the ratio of males to females in nightclubs, why is that such an important issue?
You gotta have females in the nightclub. That's how you make money.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the expression a sausage fest? A lot of guys don't
Yeah.
want to go to a lot of guys don't.
I think putting a bunch of women in a nightclub is basically like dumping chum directly on a shark's boner.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I mean? Like,
bait.
It's so bad, dude.
Do you think that having more females in a nightclub somehow gives a man an advantage?
It gives the club advantage.
No, I understand that.
But yeah, it gives the man more advantage because honestly, girls hang out with more girls and girls will connect more with girls in the nightclub than guys will connect with guys in the nightclub.
Okay. Because I'm just wondering, like, you can have like, one guy with 1,000 girls in there, but if that guy is, poor or short,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't meet her minimum standards. Is that really going to matter how many women are in there?
Nah, it don't.
So it doesn't really give a woman it doesn't really give a man an advantage, based on how many women
it
there are.
still gives an advantage because at the end of the day, everything is statistics. So it still will give a little bit of advantage just because of the fact, like, it opens up your odds. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more girls you got around, the more you got a shot at actually leaving home with something.
I feel like realistically, if you are like a person that is not ideally attractive and you go to a nightclub and like you expect your odds to be as great as like Brad Pitt, like you're just setting yourself up for failure. But like, I think realistically, like, no, that person's chance is not like any less than like Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really like, I feel like it's more about personality than anything else. If you have a shitty personality, you're gonna have like a shitty time.
I mean, this is Las Vegas, so people want to live lavishly, and that's what they're trying to attract. So I guess you have to have some type of money.
Why does a man need to have game? Like, what is game? What does that mean?
I don't have game. But it's good to have game, especially in a club environment. Just because of the fact you got to know how to spit something that the girl wants to hear. If you're not able to do that, then how are you going to leave home with something? Unless she chooses you.
Do you think that beautiful women are more privileged or disadvantaged by their looks?
I feel like it's a coin, because like if you're super pretty, people might not always take you seriously, but I mean also like there's obvious advantages to like being beautiful, but yeah, I feel like it like kind of depends on the situation. Like it's like a double-edged sword.
Well,
for
I mean,
sure.
I'll acknowledge that there's definitely a disadvantage. There's both.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But wouldn't it be safe to say that if the privileges didn't outweigh the disadvantages, why would any woman ever bother getting plastic surgery?
I feel like that's
that.
more based on like a culture than it is like actual advantage. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we just like perpetuate that sort of stuff. I don't think it actually matters.
Okay.
But,
And then why do you think there's so much talk in our society about like things like white privilege, male privilege, but no one talks about beauty privilege?
I don't know. I feel, are beautiful people like oppressed?
Are they what, oppressed?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying they're privileged. So I'm saying
Oh,
does that
okay,
mean
so
does
you're
that
s-
mean
okay, I see
I mean
what
it's
you're
almost
saying.
like saying that people who aren't beautiful are oppressed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm just wondering if that's an issue that you think should be talked about more.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Donald Trump's president, so I mean.
Valentine's Day is today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why are Valentine's Day and weddings more about pleasing women than celebrating the couple?
I guess that's just the law of the holiday. Like, it's simple. Like, everybody thinks, some people try to reverse it, and some people don't do too good at it, but I think it's just made for a woman holiday. Every guy's supposed to please a woman during Valentine's Day, etc., and just supposed to take care of them. I think that's just, once something starts, it usually trends on, and it's never going to change.
Do you think that there should be a holiday, is there a holiday for men that's kind of like
What is it?
exclusively favors men?
Y'all know what is that? Sweet. It's called sweet. It's one thing. I think back in Illinois, they actually do a Sweethearts Day. Like, so that's basically the guy version of Valentine's Day. So that's pretty cool because then the girl is able to actually cater to their man. I definitely agree that, 1-on-1 should happen because at this day and age, a lot of people go back and forth on considering women want to be equal. So a holiday should be equal too.
Sweetest Day.
Sweetest
Yes.
Day. Can you explain how that works? What is that?
That is about the man. It is vice versa. That is all about the man that day. It is like the vice versa of Valentine's Day, but it doesn't get taken as seriously at all.
Valentine's Day was yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
Why do you think Valentine's Day and also weddings seem to be more about pleasing a woman than celebrating the couple?
I never really thought about that until you just told me. It is really about that, huh?
Why do you think that is?
Oh, wow. Goodness gracious. I mean, shoot. That's probably, why do I think that is?
I think he's right though. Like if you look at advertisements, they're throwing diamond rings at you, and they want you to buy chocolates and flowers, and it's like all centered about the woman. It's not really the couple. I agree with that.
Because women are selfish. It's always about the women.
Oh, okay. Interesting. How about weddings?
Same deal.
Same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably because it has to do with, it's almost like women are up on a really high pedestal, no?
You don't say.
Yeah, no, that's really what I'm seeing here now, that you mention it.
Women only have power in relationships.
In relationships.
That's it.
Okay.
Other than that-
Well, the thing I don't understand is if men had all the power, why would they allow women to have power in relationships? Wouldn't they
Because
just...
they're pussies.
Which of the following statements do you think has more truth to it? That a man's ideal woman is a bro in the body of a hot chick, or a woman's ideal man is a woman in the body of a handsome man?
I think the first one.
That's what most people will say. Why do you think so?
I think the first one, just because of the fact, like, a guy definitely always looks for a hot chick, always looks for somebody that's beautiful. I know personally, me, I'm a personality person. Like, I like girls with a personality I choose a girl with a personality rather than a hot chick. But I know most people don't think about that. Most people are more focused on the looks and ideal. Most girls, they don't understand like a feminine guy or whatever. So they'll think like he's a little bit different, maybe gay or something like that more of. And yeah, I get that shit all the time, and I'm straight.
So here's my question, right? Sure. For a lot of the women who basically rely on men for their own physical protection, aren't women just as capable of calling the police or owning a handgun as a man?
I think they should.
So if that's the case, then why are they still relying on men for protection if they're just as capable of personal protection?
That's a good point. So you're saying that the feeling that they have of protect. So you're going off the point that I was making, that part of the reason that men and women get together is for physical protection.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Not to mention that men are typically seen as protectors and providers, right? Sure. So as far as the protection, that kind of questions that idea. And then when you look at being a provider, there are a lot of women who are out earning men now, but yet men are still kind of seen, to fill that role of being a provider.
Sure.
So I'm trying to figure out, in an age now where gender roles are being challenged, what is the role of a man? What is the incentive for a man? What is the incentive for a man to get married?
I can't really think of any at the moment, honestly. It feels like it's mostly putting yourself at risk these days.
Okay. Is there anything that a married couple can do that an unmarried couple can't do?
Other than what, tax benefits?
Right.
Other than tax benefits, I really can't think of anything. I mean, that being said, I still want to get married just because, I think that's the next step in showing a partner that you're very, very serious. But in terms of actual benefits, like physical benefits, I don't really.
Well,
see
right,
any.
but I mean, you could still be in love with somebody, you could still live with them,
Of
you could
course.
still be, have kids with them without being married.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I mean, the divorce rate is more than 50%. They say 70% of divorces are initiated by women.
Yeah.
Most women, when they get divorced, like the divorce courts favor women. They get custody of the kids. They can take half a man's stuff. Why, if you want to be with somebody, why sign a contract that literally can destroy your life?
I wouldn't.
Right. So I'm just wondering, why are people still getting married? Because it seems to me like men have everything to lose and nothing to gain, while women have everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man. That's heavy.
Why should a man risk signing a contract and losing half of everything he has for something that doesn't really give him anything that he can't have without signing that contract?
Maybe like religious purposes. I'm not religious, but if I was, like, maybe I'd have a bigger incentive to get married.
I understand. But if you're not religious, I mean, do you think there's still an incentive these days to get married?
I don't feel like it, no.
Okay. Do you have any idea why you think people are still getting married? Just religion, you think, would be the
No,
main
probably
reason?
just habit. I feel like
Money.
Yeah, dude, money.
Money
taxes.
to
Well,
be
right,
stable.
right. But I'm saying, would you say that most men marry for money or most women marry for money?
Women.
So isn't there more of an incentive for women to get married than there is for a man? Like it almost seems to me like for a woman she has nothing to lose and everything to gain, while a
think
man
this-
has nothing to gain and everything to lose.
I think this like paints a really weird picture where you're just like, there's like a guy with a lot of money who's like an idiot, and then there's like a woman who is like a gold digger. Like that's just like such a niche like couple. You know what I mean? I feel like that's just.
Well, I'm just.
It paints a very misogynistic picture of like marriage. I
Well,
feel
not
like.
that. I'm just saying that like you can still be in love. I'm just saying that
Sure.
there's some very real risks out there that might come up and bite you in the ass after it's too late. And I'm just wondering if people are aware of these things
Probably.
before it's too late.
I think it's like
Because-
with a lot of shit, they're just like, oh, I want to get married because fuck it. You know what I mean? It's like with people when they have kids, they just want to have kids. They don't really think about the fact that they're gonna have to put those kids through like college and shit. They're just like, let's fucking have kids. Who cares? Like,
Right,
let's
but
have
there-
6.
right, but a lot of people who've been through the trauma of a bad experience might say, "I wish I thought about this a little bit more before." You know what I mean? Because just making a lifetime commitment, a lifetime decision, without putting a lot of thought into it, can really wreak havoc on your life. So I'm just wondering why more people haven't put more thought into. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't advantages. But I'm just saying, you know, I mean, maybe there's the advantage of, you know, companionship and having somebody there. But at the same time, marriage does not guarantee loyalty.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the same thing as like college doesn't guarantee a job.
True.
You might spend $90,000 in student loans and then pay that off, forever. And like, why do people still go to college? I feel like you could use that argument for pretty much everything. Why do people still buy houses? Why do people still go to college?
Because there's still an advantage, like you said. There's still an advantage if you know how to work the system, you know how to work the game.
I feel like people realize the risks and take them anyways because they just think, I mean, like, look where we are. Like, people love to gamble. Like, gambling is huge. Like, people just, if there's an inherent risk where you might be able to win, I feel like no matter what, people will take it because that's just human nature.
One more. Can I ask you a controversial question?
Sure.
I'll end on this one, right?
Sure.
Okay. I tend to. It's about abortion, okay?
Okay.
But my point is, I'm not trying to debate the typical debate, which is when does life begin? Because, you know, I've listened to both sides. I tend to, you know, there's interesting points made on both sides.
Okay.
But I'm not trying to debate that.
Okay.
I actually happen to believe, you know, I'm pro-choice. I believe a woman should have the right to choose.
Okay.
But what I'm asking is, if a woman should have the right to opt out of motherhood and make that choice, do you think that a man should also have the right to choose to opt out of fatherhood and 18 years of child support?
Shoot, wow, I've never thought about that one before.
Well, let me ask you this.
Goodness.
What reproductive rights do men have?
It seems like 0, actually.
Right. So why are we always talking about a woman's right to choose, but we never ever bring up the man's choice? Because the man doesn't have any choice. Like, if you think about it, if you get a woman pregnant and you want to keep that baby, she can kill it. If you want to not be a father,
You don't
she
get
can
that choice.
she can basically lock you into 18 years of child support.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So why are we not talking about the bigger picture here?
It's something that I feel like does need to be discussed. That's never a really perspective I've really thought of until you said that question. I'm kind of at a loss of words now.
Well, either way, I think I'm not saying I have the answers. I just think they're important
No, they are.
conversations.
That's a very important question. I mean, goodness gracious, that's a perspective I've never thought of before at all. With all the reproductive rights and it's like 18 years of child support, like you said.
Not to mention that if a woman decides to keep the baby and have the baby and stays a single mom, if she wants to opt out of her, even after the child is born, if she wants to opt out of her parental and financial obligations, she can put that child up for adoption. But at no point can the man ever say, you know what, I can't continue paying. He basically is locked in, and then he's basically forced to be a deadbeat dad if he can't make those sacrifices. So I think it's an important topic that needs to be brought up. So
Yeah, it does.
either way,
Needs to be talked about.
But my point is they need to be talked about. But I think we can have these conversations, but do it in a civil manner where at least because like I said, everybody can raise new issues and make the conversation a little more engaging. I think for both sides.
Absolutely.
So.